Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your host, Davo. We are undertaking the fight for the Furby. Who will take possession of Ricky the Furby? This will be
An everlasting love? What?
Yeah.
Did you just reboot?
I did. I just hard rebooted. Okay. This will be the third game of the tournament. We have an exciting tournament. Neil, what are the rules?
The rules are every week we have a theme, and in that theme, I've got 6 categories with 4 questions each. Each question's worth 10 points, more or less. And then there's a final question, which is worth up to 100 points. And during this particular tournament, once per game, each player may opt to answer a different question. We call it the Furby freebie. The question might be a trick. It might be really easy. It's just a little bit different question. It's a second chance if you really don't know the answer. And so I guess we're ready to get started, huh?
I had a couple of points I'd like to bring up first. Number one, for any of our new listeners here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, we like to do tournaments. And we do our tournaments similar to the majors in golf or tennis or the big four major events of the year. Our last tournament was called the Braid Masters Tournament, won by Kells, who now owns the prestigious mustard yellow members only jacket.
Fits like a dream.
And for this tournament, we are tussling, we are fighting for the Furby, Ricky the Furby. We have some photos of good old Ricky on our Twitter and on our website.
All right.
Neil, what are the standings in the tournament?
Well, right now the standings are Davo has 4 points, Kells has 4 points, and Andy has 4 points.
Wow.
Each win is worth 3 points. Second place is worth 2 points, and a third place is worth 1 point. And that's the way they all work out, is 4 to 4 to 4.
Let's do this.
Yes. All right. So in the past, we've had topics. I think one of our very first topic was Texas, if I remember right.
You remember correctly.
I did one recently after I moved to the state of Missouri, about Missouri. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I spent a long time living in the state of Washington. And that is today's topic.
Oh, no.
All right.
Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
Spent some time there.
I did as well.
I have not.
To be honest, I don't know how much that's going to help you, but we'll see.
I'm going to be very curious about the science of the state of Washington.
Well,
surprising, that's our first category.
It actually is our first category.
Yeah, well, that came out of left field.
No.
Holy
science.
Question 1 in science. Linda Buck earned her undergraduate degree at the University of Washington and went on to win a Nobel Prize in biology for her work on the human olfactory system. What is the olfactory system?
Oh, thank goodness. Locked in.
Locked in.
Kells?
The olfactory system is the system used to smell, so I said the nose.
Okay. Andy?
Sense of smell.
And Davo?
I wrote down the nose, so the olfactory system is the nosy part of the body, I guess.
Well, I'll give you that. It's the sense of smell.
Oh, cool.
It's more than just the nose. It involves the sinuses and other stuff.
Right.
I'll give you that. Question 2. Hanford, Washington was the site of the first production plutonium reactors. As a result, it's now a beneficiary of the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act of 1980, which is more commonly known as what?
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
I don't know. It's early in the game, but gonna use my Furby freebie now.
Ooh.
All right. David, what did you come up with?
Superfund site.
Andy?
Yeah, super fund.
Super fun.
Yeah, maybe that's something that I don't think they really talk about that much anymore, but it was that act that I mentioned is a environmental cleanup act that provides a lot of money to clean up very toxic sites, and Hanford is a Superfund site.
Huh. Okay.
There was a Superfund site in Colorado that did something. I want to say they had produced sarin at one point,
Huh.
and they needed to clean it up.
Are you from Colorado?
Yeah, you know, I love me some Colorado.
Huh,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's crazy, huh?
Never heard
That's
that before.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's never come
not
up.
once.
Think you know a guy.
Yes.
My mother-in-law used to work for the Washington State version of the EPA. I'm not sure what the department's actually called, and she did a little bit of work around the Hanford site. She told me that there's a field there that if you were to run across it, you would die before you got halfway done.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
They dumped a lot of crap in the
Just in the field.
yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Kels, though, has an opportunity for a new question. So pick a number between 1 and 5.
I want to go with 2, Neil.
Number 2. That is an excellent choice. Remember, I said some of these are easy, some are a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Approximately how long was the 7 Years' War?
I'm going to guess 7 years.
The correct answer is 7 years.
Yeah, I get the Tony Awards. He gets a 7-year award.
Question 3. Washington state fish is a steelhead, which is a type of what?
Locked
in. We just grilled some the other day.
And don't say fish. I need more specific than that.
Oh. Water fish?
Sure. I'm going to lock in.
Andy?
Trout.
Kels?
I said a marlin.
And Devo?
I said a salmon.
The correct answer is trout.
Oh.
And question 4 in science. About 2/3 of Washington's electricity is what type? Meaning, how was it generated?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Kels?
I said wind.
Devo?
I said hydroelectric.
Yeah.
Andy?
Hydroelectric.
Thanks to many dams along the Columbia River, the correct answer is hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric. Good for them.
At the end of round 1, Kels has 20, Devo 30, and Andy 40. Whose turn is it to be perfect in science this time?
Apparently it's Andy's. Next week it'll be Kel.
Yeah.
Let's move on to movies. Question 1. This 1983 movie, set in the Seattle area, is about a young hacker who breaks into a military supercomputer and nearly starts World War III.
I just
Wow.
saw the ending of this.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Devo?
War games?
Andy?
How about a nice game of chess? War games.
And Kels?
Never seen this, but I think Matthew Broderick's in it.
He is.
Okay, it's war games.
Correct answer is War Games. I should have put a bonus on there, like what is the name of the computer or something like that.
And Ali Sheedy's in it as well, correct?
Ali Sheedy.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about Ali Sheedy in there.
Question 2. Although the original 1984 movie was set in Colorado, the 2012 remake with Chris Hemsworth was set in Spokane, Washington.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Is that right? Yeah.
Originally,
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to go with that.
1984, remade in 2012.
No, that's not right. Oh, well. Is that right?
I'm drawing a blank, so I'm going to use... Oh, For the Love of Pete.
You already locked in, Devo.
I'm trying
Stop
to. I'm trying to puzzle it out.
Well, it's too late, isn't it? You locked in. It's puzzled. Could not be more puzzled. I am taking the Furby freebie because I don't want to end up like Davo.
Yeah, utterly flummoxed.
Okay. Devo, I'm dying to know what you think it may or may not be.
Well, I put Red Dawn.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And Kels?
I say Red Dawn.
The correct answer is Red Dawn.
Oh,
Wow.
I should have. Davo had me spooked.
Is it Red Heat? What was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he was from the Soviet Union? Is that Red Heat?
It's Red Heat.
I was getting Red Heat and Red Dawn mixed up in my head. And
Not to be mixed with the Hunt for Red October. Or just Reds.
Or Reds.
Or Red Sonja.
Or Red Sonja.
Okay, Andy, you ready for your...
Yeah.
Give me a number between 1 and 5.
1.
Okay. In what month does most of Oktoberfest take place?
October?
The correct answer is September.
What? No, it isn't. What?
Yes, it is.
I hate everybody.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Oktoberfest is in September.
So it starts it's about 2 weeks and it ends the first Sunday in October.
Yeah.
So quite often most of it is in September.
Stupid festival.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Question 3. The Twilight series of movies is set in what real Washington town?
Oh, God.
What?
I know Davo's a huge fan of this series.
What was the name of it? I don't think this is right, but I'm going to put this down. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I don't know whose turn it is anymore. Let's start with Andy.
Sparkleberg.
That's fantastic.
It ought to be. Deva?
Is it Forks?
I'll tell you in a moment. Kels?
Thank you.
The arch nemesis of spoons. I said Forks.
The correct answer is Forks.
Yay!
You know what? I'm proud that I don't know that.
Question 4 in movies. The first movie of a franchise spanning 37 years is set in the fictional town of Hope, Washington. What is the name of the first movie of the franchise released in 1982?
Ooh. I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in.
I would even say it's probably the best movie of the franchise, in my humble opinion.
If it's what I'm
Deva?
thinking it is, I'd agree with you.
I said First Blood.
Andy?
Rambo First Blood.
Kels?
The wound is fresh. It's first blood.
Correct answer is First Blood. I have to say, I haven't seen some of them. I saw, I think, Rambo 2, 3, and maybe 4. And I think Last Blood just came out or is about to come out.
It came out a few weeks ago.
All right. At the end of round 2, Kels and Andy are tied with 60, and Dava was in the lead with 70.
I would like to point out that was that was very nearly our first perfect round for everybody, except for the furry freebie.
No, and Forks.
Oh, and
Andy,
okay.
Andy missed Forks.
I
too.
forgot. I was trying to be nice.
That's you being nice. Yeah, that was almost a perfect round, except Andy screwed up an easy one and another one.
Okay, I didn't mark my score sheet correctly.
I'd hate to see you being cruel.
You just wait.
Category 3 is Music.
Yes.
Oh,
What musician was born and raised in Seattle, died in another country in 1970, and is currently buried under a 30-foot high granite dome structure in Renton,
Locked
Washington?
in.
And for bonus, what country did he die in?
Locked in on that.
Trying to I'm locked in.
I have no idea. I am locked. Oh,
Andy, what's your answer?
Jimi Hendrix, and he died in London, England.
Kels?
I didn't know Jimi Hendrix was from Washington. I said Dr. Funkenstein in Germany.
Dr. Funkenstein has never died.
He can't die. Deva?
Jimi Hendrix.
No bonus?
No.
The correct answer is Jimi Hendrix, who died in England. Question 2. What actor, singer, and longtime friend and collaborator of Bob Hope was born in Tacoma in 1903 and raised in Spokane?
Locked in.
Locked
And I
in.
have an easy mode. Easy mode for half points if you want it.
The joys of being old.
I can see them together. I feel like.
While you're thinking, I'm just going to do this. Is it him? No. Is it? No. Is it him? No. Wait a minute.
No.
No.
Wait, hold.
Yeah? Huh?
Is it?
Well, does that help, Kels? Does that help?
I'm locked in. Yes,
See, it did.
It helped immensely.
It did.
All right, Kels, who did you come up with?
Is it Bing Crosby?
I'll tell you in a minute. Deva?
Bing Crosby.
And
Yes.
Andy.
Bing Crosby.
Correct answer is Bing Crosby.
Is it?
No, wait a minute. Is it? Well, no. Yeah?
Question 3. What record label created the Seattle sound by signing new acts like Mudhoney, Soundgarden, and Nirvana?
Locked in.
Oh, yeah, locked in.
Locked in?
Andy?
Sub Pop.
Deva?
Sub Pop.
And Kels.
I said Geffen.
Correct answer is Sub Pop. And finally, in the music category, what was the stage name of Anthony L. Ray, who was born and raised in the Seattle area and released his first album in 1989 titled Swass?
Swass.
Locked in.
Swass.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Kels, what's your answer?
Well, keeping it funkadelic, I said Sir Nose devoid of funk.
Andy?
It's Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And Devo.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
The correct answer is Sir Mix-a-Lot. All right, at the end of round 3, we've got Kels with 70, Andy with 102, and Devo with 110.
Dude.
It's anybody's game.
Catching you.
Category 4 is business. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a lot of big businesses in the state of Washington.
I did know this.
Okay.
Question 1. In this Seattle-based company's early days, a bell would ring in the office every time a sale was made. Now the bell would be deafening.
Locked in.
Oh. I got half of it in my head. Shoot.
Locked in?
This is why coffee's for closers. Right here. Oh.
My watch costs more than your
It is
car.
on a tip. You're not helping. It's a tip of my tongue.
Is it?
God, I hate you. Oh. Ray Guy. I'm bringing out special teams.
You know, in the
Hang time.
that's like some good hang time in the kingdom.
But
Hang time.
I want to say since you're locked in, It's a real estate company, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I was okay.
Kels?
I guess Amazon.
Andy punted. Devo.
I said Starbucks.
Well, the correct answer is Amazon.
Nice.
Can you imagine a bell ringing in the Amazon headquarters every time a sale happens now?
I would shoot
It would
myself.
be insane.
Question 2. What company was founded in Albuquerque in 1974 before moving to Seattle a few years later?
Locked in.
Oh, man. Oh, it's about that right time.
Locked in?
Well, I'm locked in.
Devo?
Starbucks.
Kels?
I said Microsoft.
Andy?
Boeing.
The correct answer is Microsoft.
Oh,
Dang it.
oh, this is not going well.
No.
When is Starbucks going to be right?
No kidding.
Never.
Dang it.
It is never going to be right.
I know the one business.
I know. It's this in Seattle.
Question 3. What warehouse store headquartered in Issaquah sells Kirkland's signature products?
Locked in.
Warehouse.
And it's not Starbucks. Shaking it up a bit.
It is not.
Locked in.
Kels?
I'm hoping it's Costco.
Andy?
I had it. It's either Costco or Starbucks. I'm thinking it's Costco.
And Deva?
It was a close debate for me between Starbucks and Costco, but I went with Costco.
I'm glad you did. I mean, I said what warehouse store? I don't know how you could make Starbucks into a warehouse store.
Yeah, I don't know
correct
why
answer is Costco.
Oktoberfest is in September. It's a weird world.
You have to talk to the Germans about that. Question 4. Starbucks has over 13,000 stores in the United
You
States.
don't say.
What Asian country has the second largest number of Starbucks?
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Oh,
Okay,
my
well, I've got.
gosh.
All right, it's not North Korea. I've eliminated them.
Can you be sure?
It's not
Pretty sure.
Turkmenistan.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
UAE, maybe?
Is there a country named Starbucks?
Yes. If you're in Oman and you go south, you hit Starbucks in like 15 minutes.
I'm locked in.
Wow, this is
Yeah, I'm like
this
that
is what we
weekend.
used to call a poser. Huh.
You're a poser, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Not that. I'm going to say that. Locked in.
They've
Kels.
on with Kazakhstan. I said India.
You said, what, India?
Yes, sir.
Andy?
I think Japan.
And Devo?
I also said India.
Well, the correct answer, with 3,600 locations approximately, is China.
I didn't know they were in China.
Oh.
I didn't know. I thought of China first because the population. I thought, nah, they're not in China.
Well, that's why I defaulted to India because of the population, and I didn't think they would be in China.
Huh.
Well, you were wrong.
Utterly.
That round hurt.
At the end of round 4, Kels has 100, Andy 112, and Deva 120.
Man.
It's getting a little bit tighter.
Games afoot.
And that brings us to sports.
Sports ball.
Question 1. In the Big Four pro sports leagues, meaning specifically the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, and National Hockey League, how many Seattle teams have won championships?
Oh.
And for a bonus, how many WNBA championships has Seattle won?
Ooh.
So WNBA.
I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I'm locking in.
All right, Deva.
I said 2. I believe the Supersonics won a title back in the 70s, and the Seahawks won a title in the NFL. And I think the Seattle Storm have won 3 WNBA championships.
All right. Kels?
Also said 2, the Sonics in 79, I think, and the Seahawks when they dismantled the Broncos. And I guess 2 for Seattle Storm championships.
And Andy?
I also guessed 2. I remember the Super Bowl win. I just had to think somebody else had won something, though I knew that they've never won the World Series. So I went with 2 there. And I'm just saying 1 for the WNBA because I have no idea.
Well, I was kind of hoping I was going to trick you up a little bit. You guys were right. Kels was especially right. NBA, the Sonics won in 79, and they won the Super Bowl in 2013. Now they actually a Seattle team won the Stanley Cup way back in like 1910 or something like that. But that was before the National Hockey League became a thing, so
Right.
it doesn't really count as an NHL championship. So the correct answer is 2. And the Seattle Storm won in 2004, 2010, and 2018 for 3.
Oh,
So Davo with 12 points, Kels and Andy both with 2.
Nicely done, Davo.
2 points?
Kels and Andy got 10.
I'm sorry. Kels and Andy got 10, Davo got 12.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
It's like the front end was worth 2.
My bad.
The real question is the
Wait.
WNBA.
Question 2. What is the name of the annual football game between the University of Washington Huskies and the Washington State Cougars?
I think it's called football. Pretty sure they call it football.
Okay. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Man, Bedlam keeps popping up in my head, but that's Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. But it's such a cool name.
Maybe it's so cool that these two teams adopted it.
No, they don't normally do that. I'm locked in.
Kels?
I just said the war.
Andy?
Oktoberfest.
And Davo.
Well, I know in Oregon, the game between Oregon and Oregon State is called the Civil War. But I went with something a little more pedestrian for Washington State, and I said the Apple Bowl.
Davo, I will give you half credit. The correct answer is the Apple Cup.
Oh.
Question 3. I have no idea if this is common knowledge or not because it's baseball. So this is either going to be really easy or maybe really hard. What Mariner was the first person to have 7 RBIs in a single postseason game in 1995?
Wow.
Huh.
Not common knowledge. This is a good one.
There can't be that. Can't believe I'm not.
Huh.
Locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in too.
I'm locked in with a total guess.
There's a lot of good choices, by the way.
It really is.
Okay. Andy, what's your answer?
I guess Junior. Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying for me.
Yeah, I heard the dead air, so I was.
I steered clear of the more obvious answer of Ken Griffey Jr. and I went with Edgar Martinez.
And Kels.
I also went with Edgar Martinez. Ken Griffey Jr., my favorite baseball player of all time, seemed too obvious, and I think he hit like a grand slam and a 3-run home run in the same game. Edgar Martinez did, so I went with Edgar Martinez.
I almost went with Ichiro, by the way, in parentheses, in case that's the right answer.
That's too
it's
early
not.
for Ichiro.
No.
Kels pretty much described it exactly.
Yes.
Rats.
Yes.
He got a grand slam and a 3-run homer to I think that put them in the lead, and they held on to their lead at the end of their
It was
little
against
baseball
the
game.
was it against the Yankees?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah, I don't
Yankees
know.
year.
I can't remember. Yeah,
95 to 2000 was the Yankees chunk.
Yeah.
I saw Junior play towards the end of his career at Wrigley in the outfield visiting team, and I always remember one of the greatest slams I ever heard from the bleachers. It actually got him laughing. Is somebody yelled really loud, "Hey Junior, how does it feel to be playing in August?" Because he was constantly injured.
Wow.
And he turned around
That's so good.
and he
That's
turned
so
around
good.
and I gave him a dirty look for a heartbeat, and then just got on both his knees and started laughing. Like, yeah, that was well done.
All right, question 4. What school did Elgin Baylor lead to an NCAA championship game in 1958?
Oh gosh, I really followed 1958 bowl games.
They
This
didn't win.
This would be basketball there, Andy.
And it,
Yeah.
Okay.
Elgin Baylor, one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
I'm
N-
sorry.
now
I
he's
gave
gonna
too
get
big a
it.
hint.
I don't know what school. I still don't know.
What school did he go to? Was it that one? No.
Was it this one?
Is it?
No.
No.
Wait a
Could
minute.
be.
Could it be? No. I'm locked in.
I'm gonna lock in.
Oh boy, I'm gonna lock into. I don't remember where he went to college.
Devo.
Gonzaga.
Kels.
Oh, that's a much better answer. I said Seattle.
And Andy.
Washington State.
Well, the correct answer was the University of Seattle.
Wow.
Good job, Kels.
Way to go, Kels.
Wow.
I believe they're a Jesuit university.
I know it was one of those like Bill Russell type situations
Like
because
USF.
he didn't really go. Yeah, he went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Now, I figured it wouldn't be Washington or Washington State since they popped up already.
I went with I didn't go with Washington because it was in Seattle. So I was like,
Ah,
All right. After round 5, the scores are Andy with 122, Kels with 130, and Devo 147.
I'm pleased to still be playing.
Category 6 is geography. Question 1. The surface elevation of Spirit Lake was raised about 200 feet due to what event?
locked in.
And I have an
Locked in.
easy mode if you need it. I don't know how helpful it is, but
I'm gonna lock. No. I want the easy mode.
you want the easy mode? Okay. All right. So the easy mode, and again, I don't know how helpful it's going to be, is the event happened in 1980.
Oh,
May 18th, to be specific.
okay.
It was my birthday.
I'm locked in.
Andy?
The eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Devo?
Mount St. Helens erupting.
And Kels.
Eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Correct answer is the eruption of Mount St. Helens. So 5 points for Kels for the easy mode, 10 to Devo and Andy.
Woot.
Question 2. What is the highest peak in the Olympic mountain range?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Devo?
Mount Rainier.
Kels?
Rainier.
And Andy.
Mount Olympus. It's where they get the name for the mountain range.
Did you know that there are 2 mountain ranges in Washington? There's the Cascades, which
Right.
has the highest
Mhm.
mountain of Mount Rainier, and the Olympics are the highest mount. There is Mount Olympus. Good job, Andy.
Well played, Andy.
So just so you know, the Cascades go. They're kind of between Seattle and all the rest of the state.
Yeah.
The Olympics are on the peninsula, on the other side of the sound from Seattle.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
And the Cascades, of course, is where Cascade Tunnel is the longest railroad tunnel in the U.S. currently. You guys knew that.
Question 3. What is the effect on eastern Washington of the rain shadow effect?
Oh, locked in.
I'm locked in too.
Locked in.
Okay. Kels?
They receive far less rainfall than the western side of the state.
Andy?
Yeah, I was going to say the same. It's desert, really, but yeah.
And Devo?
Similar answer to my compatriots. It's very dry in the east as compared to the west.
Yep, that is the correct answer. The rain shadow is essentially the rain clouds basically bump up against the Cascades, and much less rain gets into eastern Washington. So, despite the idea of Washington being a very rainy state, probably about, I don't know how much, at least half of it is practically desert.
And it's a startling difference when you cross over that too.
Yeah.
I spent 3 weeks in the Cascades on a photo shoot with the late Paul Schneider and our assistant Steve Hart. And I remember going to that side, and I was wearing black tennis shoes, and it was significantly warmer and drier, and the black shoes suddenly became very uncomfortable.
It's almost like Dorothy emerging into Technicolor in a way. The difference is so stark.
A little bit, yeah. It's startling, yeah.
Over a few hours in Washington, you could go from rainforest to desert with snow in between over the mountains. All right. The final question today is, what is the name of the largest dam on the Columbia, which is also the largest dam in the country?
Locked in.
I would like my Furby freebie, please.
Okay.
I'm sure you would.
I'm gonna lock in.
All right, Devo. Sorry, Kels.
I said the Grand Coulee.
Andy?
Grand Coulee.
Grand Coulee is the correct answer. So let's
right.
come over here and get Devo his question. Devo, give me a number between 1 and 5.
Let's go with 4.
Okay, I have a feeling Andy's gonna get really mad because I think he's gonna know this one.
I'm hoping.
All right, Devo, your Furby freebie is: what group had a big hit with "In a Big Country"?
Are you kidding?
Well, it's Big Country.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
From the album Big Country.
The correct answer is Big Country.
The most unoriginal band in the history of rock music. We got one name we like. We're sticking with it for everything.
Well, you want that brand identity, man.
Their follow-up hit, We Got Nothing. That was the name of their follow-up hit. We Got Nothing.
All right, at the end of the regular rounds, I've got Kels with 155, Andy with 162, and Devo with 177.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
So, for 10 points each for the final question, according to the U.S. Census Bureau's 2018 estimate, what are the 10 biggest cities in Washington?
Do vampires count in a census? If not, I'm gonna eliminate.
Yeah, I got to cut out an answer or two.
I'm just trying to slowly go through Johnny Cash's "I've Been Everywhere" man song. See how many cities I can catch from Washington.
I don't think he actually lists every single place, though.
Oh.
Wait just 1 second, Bubba. Yes, it's your friendly podcasting fanatic. Here to shout out my trivia brothers from another mother, the Trivia Rogues. When you get a chance, pop on over to the Trivia Rogues and let Billy and the gang educate you on some things, Bubba. Funk on. And do remember to please look both ways before you cross my mind, baby.
All right. I have 10 answers.
I have 10. Plus, I have a bonus one for Davo.
Wow. I'm
I
touched.
do.
I'm gonna lock in with what I got. My brain is fried.
All right. Kels, why don't you tell me what your answers are?
All right. I have Spokane, Tacoma, Olympia, Seattle, Walla Walla, Aberdeen,
Oh,
Bellevue, Forks, Leonard, and Booker T.
nice.
Andy.
Seattle, Spokane, Pasco, Tacoma, Bremerton, Bellingham, Olympia, Vancouver, Bellevue, Yakima, and for Davo, this is not part of the top 10, but I have been to this town, Lacey, Washington.
I used to live
Heck
there.
yes.
Heck yeah!
Woo! Heck yeah, Lacey, Washington. That's Uniontown.
Heck yeah, it is!
Jesus.
It's a suburb of Olympia, although I think it might be bigger.
Nice.
Davo, what are your answers?
Well, I only got 9. So I have Seattle, Tacoma, Everett, Spokane, Puyallup, because I love that name, Olympia, Vancouver, Bremerton, and Walla Walla.
That was 9.
Yeah, that's all I got.
He said it was going to be 9.
Oh, I thought you said 8. All right. Well, let me tally up your scores here, and we'll see where we're at. You guys definitely named some towns in Washington.
We did. We named quite a few towns in Washington.
Okay. Are you guys ready to see who won this thing?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Okay, starting with number 12. These first two don't count. Bellingham with 90,000 and Yakima with 93,000.
Oh, that's 2 right off the bat for me.
Number 10, Federal Way.
Federal Way.
Federal Way, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
It's got 97,000 people living there.
Oh, wow.
Number 9 is Spokane Valley, which is a suburb of Spokane with 99,000.
Oh.
That's like having a hit song named Big Country, naming the band Big Country on the album Big Country. Really? You couldn't come up with anything different, Spokane Valley?
There's Renton, Everett, Kent, Bellevue. Vancouver has 183,000.
Yeah, Vancouver.
Tacoma with 216. Spokane 219, and then of course number 1 on the list is Seattle with about 750,000 people.
How many people live in Booker T?
It wasn't in my list. So although there is a town in Washington called George.
Heck yeah, there is.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
They have an outdoor amphitheater called the Gorge.
Gorge at George. The George Gorge.
Yeah. Okay, Kels, I counted 4 correct for you.
Yeah.
Giving you 40 points, a total of 195, and currently you're in the lead.
Huh.
Andy, I counted 6 for you. Is that right?
I got 5.
You got Seattle, Spokane, Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I give you credit for Olympia. Olympia is not in the top 10. So you're right, 5.
Okay.
Giving you 50 points, a total of 212 and the lead. And Davo,
Nice.
I count 5 correct for you.
Rats.
Seattle, Tacoma, Everett, Spokane, and Vancouver. I'm glad you got Puyallup. It is not one of the top 10, but it
I
is
love
fun to
saying that
say.
name.
And so that gives you 50 points and a total of 227. And the win for the day.
Yeah.
You got the touch.
Well done,
Yeah.
Davo.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very much.
I think this might be Kel's first actual tournament loss.
It is. He didn't go lower than second place in the first tournament.
No.
This is not a good place for you, man. You have to build up you have to build up that layer of hatred for yourself to be in last place. Like I
Yeah,
have.
well, unlike everyone else on this podcast, I've never spent any time in Washington.
Well, that's true.
Kels, you know what you need before the next tournament? A training
that?
montage.
Yeah, you're the best
You need
around.
a solid training montage.
No one's gonna ever keep me
I'd look at a
down.
little glass tiger.
If you got a free weekend, we can make that happen.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm in.
Well, thank you very much for some wonderful questions about a wonderful state. Not just a state of mind, it's the state of Washington. Very good job, Neil, on those questions. To all of our listeners in Washington, I hope we did your state proud, and I hope you continue to listen to us, even though we probably know less about your state than we should. So, from all of us here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is two-time winner Davo with Andy
So long, ladle brainers.
and Kels.
Man, Forks would have made the list if they counted vampires and werewolves.
And Neil.
I had a hard time finding a good quote about Seattle. So I decided to go with one of the great sportsmen of Seattle, a former, I believe, Seahawk, Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Signing off.
Greetings and salutations, all you good trivia people out there. I know what you're thinking. Hey, I really enjoyed this show. How can I get a little more? Well, here to help you out. You can look up these good people on Twitter at Ladle Brain, or if Facebook's more your deal, you can look them up at Brain Ladle Productions. Hey, they've even got their own webpage. It's brainladletrivia.com. Now, if you're feeling generous, you can join a Patreon, where if you donate $10 or more, you can even get yourself a fancy show invite. How about that? Until we meet again, this has been 44, and I'm glad you joined us. Hope I'm out.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.